Throughout the tenure of the MCU and Marvel Comics alike, the Avengers have come face to face with a myriad of incredibly unique and absurdly powerful individuals. Dating all the way back to Phase 1, the Asgardian royal family and the gods of the Nine Realms were established as cornerstones of MCU canon, and since then, sorcerers, celestials, and even cosmic beings continue to push the power scaling of the Marvel Universe to the brink. With each passing year, we are introduced to more and more powerful individuals, including the embodiment of eternity itself in Thor: Love and Thunder. Yet, despite all of these incredibly powerful individuals, the next formidable phase-wise antagonist is Kang the Conqueror, who is nothing more than a human with incredibly advanced technology and gadgetry. Nathaniel Richards is certainly a brilliant scientist and a fearsome conqueror, but when attacking realities, he routinely has to contend with beings who are on a completely different plane of power, and one that is on a different scale than himself. So how is Kang able to stand up to these incredibly powerful cosmic entities, including celestials, and even the likes of eternity? What hope does he have against a being like a celestial or eternity itself? And how can he still expect to conquer realities with these beings being present? Well, today, watchers of the Marvel Multiverse, we will answer that question. As of right now, Kang's premier feat of incredible power is his ability to destroy entire timelines and realities, be it inadvertently or completely voluntarily. In Quantumania, we get a much more in-depth look at Kang's backstory, and we learn that each reality he visits eventually ends up being completely annihilated. One important thing to mention though, is that it doesn't clarify whether or not he is intentionally wiping out timelines, or if these are dire side effects of his invasions, but let's explore both options. We know that Kang has the ability to willingly erase timelines simply due to the events of the Loki series. When we meet the TVA, we learn that they have the power to prune deviant timelines in order to maintain control of the sacred timeline. This is insane because on an individual basis, each of the Minutemen is capable of pruning individuals, sending them to the void at the end of time, and doing this on an organizational level. At the end of Loki, we learn that this was due to Kang Tech, as he who remains is revealed to be the true founder of the TVA. We also learn that he is not the only Kang with these capabilities, and multiple variants of himself are armed with the same technology. When he gives Loki and Sylvie the history lesson on the multiversal war, we can see several models of different conquerors in Kang's iconic attire, each of whom is armed with a pruning wand that was used by the TVA. If Kang prunes a timeline, then he kills each and every sentient being in that reality, including even the most powerful cosmic entities that all of these realities have to offer. Kang's conquest of timelines doesn't automatically mean that he subjugates and enslaves these cosmic forces, nor does it necessarily even mean that he has to fight them at all and win. But this also doesn't mean that he can't kill them. In some cases, it appears as if Kang might actually kill cosmic entities by accident. In the Multiverse of Madness, we learn about the science of incursions and what causes realities to collide with one another. The premier catalyst for these incursions is the erosion between the barrier that separates the universes. As explained by Reed Richards, he explains that the more tampering is done on the veil between realities, the more dangerous and imminent the threat of an incursion becomes. Therefore, it stands to reason that the longer Kang remains on a foreign timeline, the more severe the threat of incursions become. And Reed even goes on to explain that Doctor Strange's footprint in his timeline is growing worse with each passing moment he is in a new universe. Strange caused an incursion after just a day on a new timeline, though we believe there is more to this than what has been led on to, but that's not relevant for this video. If you're interested in what was really going on here, be sure to check out our video on how dreamwalking was actually the true culprit of this incursion, and why Strange causes incursions far more than any Kang can. As for the topic at hand, however, the proposition is that Kang prolonged exposure to a brand new timeline, in addition to any technology or armies that he carries across borders, erodes the barrier and then causes incursions. This means several of the timelines that Kang has destroyed might have been by complete accident, yet they still eradicated even the most powerful beings on each of these timelines and all of these realities, including the personifications of infinity, eternity, and death respectively. You may notice, however, that there is one particular cosmic being that hasn't been mentioned, even though it has been referenced and alluded to. The entity we are talking about is the Living Tribunal, the iconic three-headed judification of the multiverse, who has been seen on several occasions in the MCU. though his physical form has yet to be fully revealed. The reason for this is because the Living Tribunal, much like America Chavez, doesn't have any multiversal variants. Instead, the Living Tribunal exists as the right hand of the One Above All, and he is the supreme judge of all multiversal affairs. He presides over cases between cosmic beings and feuds between entire realities, meaning that within the web of the multiverse, there is only a single Living Tribunal that has never been killed by a Kang as far as we can tell. There is an interesting caveat to this idea though, and one that specifically applies to the MCU landscape in particular. One prominent theory regarding Phase 5 and 6 is that the version of Kang whom we saw in Quantumania is actually not dead, and instead, he is being primed to become the MCU's version of the character known as the Beyonder. Again, we have a different video on this full breakdown and the source behind the theory, so be sure to check it out if you're interested, but the crux is that the Beyonder will be adapted much differently in the MCU than it is in the comics. In the comics, we know that the Living Tribunal has been killed before, by none other than Beyonders. Why this is important is that it means eventually in the MCU, we may have a variant of Kang who is capable of killing even the Living Tribunal, if this power scaling tracks with the comic counterpart. While this is a theoretical as of now, and we don't have any confirmation that it will get to this point at all, it is an interesting idea to consider nonetheless. This would make Kang arguably the second most powerful entity in the multiverse behind the One Above All. But we still have yet to see exactly how Marvel plans to unfold the ending of the multiversal saga, and if they even plan to make a Kang a Beyonder. But that is the answer, my friends. Literally, Kang is not as powerful as many of these cosmic entities, or really any of them at all, but it is because of his ability to destroy entire timelines and realities with the wand, which is Kang tech, as well as the fact that he can cause an incursion, is what makes Kang capable of destroying these places. This is extremely interesting, because basically what we saw during the conquering scenes in Quantumania is just Kang trying to leave as big a footprint as possible on these realities that he visits, in an effort to create incursions that will destroy the reality. But anyway, my friends, what do you think of this idea and this explanation? The idea that Kang is capable of killing these entities, but he doesn't really even rival them in power whatsoever. Also, do you think variants of Kang have accidentally pruned entire realities just by conquering them and causing an incursion? As always, my friends, leave all of your thoughts, insights, and opinions down below. Hit that subscribe button to assemble and join our team, and I hope that you have a great day.